Okay, so we're gonna do a VOD review for Neptune over here, playing on McCree. This is a game taking place at 2500. So recently, so I don't know exactly the SR, but they just said 2500 gold. Yeah, I feel like you can already tell it's a gold game just based on the team comp. I'm just looking at your team: Roadhog, Zarya, Mercy, Moira, Genji, McCree. Right, so like nothing's terrible here, but it's like the Roadhog Zarya isn't great. Like, it's not ideal. But anyway, we're not here to talk about tank comps. And Genji obviously isn't in a great place right now. We'll see how he does, but I'm gonna try not to focus on them too much. But there is always a risk that someone uploads a game. You know, there's the risk that someone shows you a game and they're like, hey, you know, I thought I played really well. I don't know why I lost. And sometimes it's like your team, like, and hopefully that's not the case. Okay, I'll watch a little bit more before I get too far into this, but I feel like right now it looks like you're shooting too much at just shields and tanks, right? Like, try and look for those value picks a little bit more. Yeah, I like this flank. Good, excellent. Yeah, a little risky. I don't know if I would have re-peeked that. Like, it turned out fine, nothing bad happened, but potentially this soldier almost killed you. Like, once they know you're there and you get the mercy kill, that might be a good time to back out. Right here, I would stay backed out, and you'll see why right there. Like, that, you could have easily died there, but anyway, that's a super minor mistake. That's like a footnote. Okay. Yeah. So you should be taking this position with your team already. You can grind up some, you know, obviously Hog is a threat, right? But you go in with your mercy, you know, you always have the chance of getting rezzed. You can use your flashbang and your right clicks to keep the Hog from escaping. I think you should be pushing in with the Hog right now, taking that space. Yeah. See, the Hog is super vulnerable right here. If you were like guarding this door, like, this is a good, you know, okay, so first of all, you should be taking the space up here, right? Or you know, pushing with your mercy Hog. But if you don't do that, the other place you should probably be standing is like right over here. You know, this lets you sort of ambush people. If they come out to try and recontest, you can ambush them with that flashbang. So yeah, standing there pushing cart might not be the best use of your time. See, because the fight is happening now, but you're outside the fight, right? You know what I mean? Like, you should already have been in position to be helping in this engagement right now. Yeah, okay. And once again, I see you prioritizing shooting the tanks. I think that often this is because the tanks are the easiest target to hit. So yeah, and I don't love going back out here either. So you peek this window, you fight them there, like, and that doesn't go well. You can go this way back to your team, which is good, or go back around this way for the flank, right? And I think those are both probably better than going straight back this way, because they actually still have a pretty decent sight line. Like, it's not perfect, but the Sigma can just come down the stairs and like keep doing damage to you. So this is not a best escape path if you're low health. Here, let's see if the Sigma does exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. So yeah, you get away, but like the Sigma could potentially chase you in here. Anyway, minor mistake. But anyway, just, now you're completely out of the fight and low health, right? But you're like, oh, I need healing, right? That you're probably like, why am I not getting healed? But if you'd gone this way to your team, it's easier for the Moira to heal you if you're standing over here, see? So. Or go get the Mega. The Mega's right there. Like, you're just standing there. If you're really not getting healed, go get the Mega. Anyway. Are you going back to switch? Oh, you're going to high ground. Okay. That's good. But again, I feel like you've spent a lot of time not in this team fight at this point, right? I'm actually going to go back real quick. 20 seconds. I feel like you spent Probably a good 40 seconds, like, not really engaging the enemy team hardly at all. Right? 20 seconds.
I need healing.
You shot the Sigma like once or twice and took some damage. Okay, we missed a bit. But anyway, it was about 40 seconds worth of like your team is fighting right now without you. You know, and it's going okay for them, but like they're basically this high ground's good, but they've already retreated, right? So the flank up onto this high ground would probably be better. Or, you know, shoot them over here. You can play off the mega. You can go up on high ground. Then you have this high ground, which would actually be an advantage. But you're too late here. Like, at this point, coming to this high ground, I don't think is super useful. You, like, almost have no sight lines. In fact, this Widow, well, she's getting dived right now, but yeah. So if the Widow hadn't been getting dived right there, this would be a bad spot to be standing right now. Yeah. Your team's basically rolling. And I emphasize your team is rolling right now. I think. You're halfway through the map. Yeah, this is a steamroll. You're still out of the fight. I don't want to be mean, but it's starting to bother me. Okay. Yeah, a much better play would have been to stay up on this high ground right over here and using High Noon to zone the payload. Either zone the payload or kill the Mercy that's in the air right now. You don't even have to have good aim to kill the Mercy at this point. But you're... Yeah, I feel like you didn't really contribute to this this second point like at all. I would like to see you looking for that ult more often. I feel like, you know, if you even ulting from where you're standing right now would be good. But, you know, you could also take this high ground and ult from up here, and then they really don't have anywhere to run, you know? Okay. Getting the high ground. It looks like this fight is pretty much over anywhere. So I feel like, okay, so I feel like you're taking the high ground, which is good. Like, you know that you should take the high ground, but you're getting there a little late. Yeah. Follow up that, I mean, you did, but you like threw the flashbang and re-hit again. You didn't actually need to do that. Yeah, we're now basically at the end of the map, and you've been holding the ult like the whole time. Yeah. Come on, where's that ult at?
Too slow.
Yeah. Honest to God, I think you could have turned that team fight around, like basically single-handedly. Like you know, the picking up even like a single kill with your ultimate, you know, can help you, like especially when you're already steamrolling a map like this. You know, 1 or 2 extra picks can make all the difference, right? So where we are from over here. Okay, this is a pretty dominant position, right? Your team is way ahead of the game right now. You have a huge time bank. You're pretty much rolling the team. You know, I think if you go in, like, you know, I think you can guarantee pretty much that you're going to win this fight over on the payload. You know, this hog is basically 3v1 at this point. You scare off the Ana, good. You kind of want to, like, you know, get over here on a flank, like take out the Ana, come up here, use your High Noon here. There's like a lot of opportunities. There's like too many to list, but yeah, push here, right? Take this, you know, try and, you know, drop on the Ana and flashbanger if you have to. Try and get those extra picks that help that steamroll momentum, right? So, okay. Yeah, Junkrat's there. You're good. You know, getting a pick on the Widowmaker, who's like way out in the open here, would be huge. She's getting pocketed, but again, like, the high noon, you know, she might snipe you out of it, but like at this level, maybe not. Like, you know, pick on the widow would have been huge. Yeah. But so my point being, like, if you could secure, you know, I'm not saying it's on you to not, like, I'm not saying you need to get every single one of these picks. I'm just saying if you got one pick here or there or here or there, if you got any of those, then I think your team would probably steamroll this, right? And so, like, if you have to burn your ultimate to just kill a Mercy or just kill a Widow or just catch a Junkrat or whatever, like, you know, any one of those would probably be a value target. But then here, this is juicy, right? This should be when you hit high noon, because basically the tanks are stuck here and they can't get out of your LOS. So you can stand here where the Widow can't see you and just hold high noon and probably kill them both, right? Like, you could take both tanks out of a fight. You're standing in the right spot for it. You get the Zarya, but the Roadhog gets away, kinda. Yeah, I don't know how you guys lose this team fight, actually. Your Hog gets picked. I guess their Hog stayed up. I'm getting confused with the red team thing, messing up. So yeah, I think one pick there, you guys could have pushed that all the way and finished with a huge time bank, like if you'd gotten any one of a number of opportunities. But yeah, you're like, look how I'm pointing at the screen. Look how close you are to the end of the map here, and you've had your ultimate basically since what, midway to point 2 or something like that. Like the game you almost won the round without using your ultimate once, which is like kind of crazy. Yeah, this Mercy's super vulnerable, you know, like where she is right now, there's like no real cover for her if you... Yeah, that would have been a pretty juicy pick. Oh, yeah. So that's unfortunate. Maybe that's part of why you're hesitant to use your ultimate, is because of things like that happening. It's basically like you've been punished for ulting so many times that you like don't want to do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely got to learn those spots where you can use them. Generally, I think as McCree, you want to use your ultimate as like more of like a cleanup tool than like a way to initiate fights. You know, if you try and like high noon into like a whole full enemy team, you'll get Thanos snapped out of existence, right? Like, but yeah, for I think I was getting on you so much to use it before because your team was steamrolling, and I'm like, you know, you can use it to like clean up these extra kills and like enhance that steamroll, right? Yeah, I'd like to see you use your roll for mobility a little bit more. You pretty much walked from all the way from spawn, and I don't think you rolled at all. But, you know, it's a pretty short cooldown. That was a nice kill, by the way. It's a pretty short cooldown. You can use that roll to like start getting, you know, get up on the high ground faster, right? Get back from spawn faster. I didn't see you do that. At this point, since you don't have your ult, at this point, I would consider dropping off the high ground, right? You know, because at this range, you can't use your flashbang. You know, you're basically about to push it into the cart. Like, you're actually more utility right now, close range. Yeah, not a big deal, but I feel like you can use that flashbang to like stop people from touching the cart, you know? As they come out of spawn, you like hit the hog with a flashbang, right click and roll away. You know, like the hog is pretty much smoked at that point, right? Can prevent like a ball from rushing out of spawn and recontesting. Compared with sitting on the high ground, like if you had a dead eye, I might stay up on the high ground, but you know, so it's situational. It's not like you should be always do this and don't ever do that, right? Like this advice is very situational, but yeah, but you know, not to make it sound like everything's your fault, because, you know,
Much
obviously
obliged.
it's not. But, you know, earlier we were talking about frontlining, like pretty much behind your main tank, and you don't really have like a good defensive tank here, as I touched on earlier. But okay, so if you'd been playing down here on low ground, actually, like with your tanks, you know, like if you've been in a position to flashbang the hog, like right here, I think this would have gone very differently. Hog gets flash, whatever. But like, you know, a flashbang can really mess up hog if you hit him with it at the right time. This, you know, this hog did hook first, which is generally, and it gets antied. So there might have been nothing you could do here, right? But like maybe, if you'd been in the right position to assist against the hog, or throw a flashbang that would like scare the Reaper off to like go, you know, wraith away, maybe your hog could have lived here. But like, because, you know, you're up here kind of taking pot shots, I think, you know, the hog's death pretty much ends up causing your whole team to collapse here on first point with a single fight. So go for that risky res, which they get but die for. So you're still down. Like this is this already, I can tell this fight's over, right? And I think, you know, it's like, this is time to retreat, run away. Maybe you can get out of here at this point with all four of you guys still alive, right? If, you know. But you go back in. So I don't know what your comms are like, but yeah, this, you know, the hog can still get out for sure. The Moira can still get out for sure, and you could still get out for sure. So that's like half your team. Okay, so hog's dead. You realize it's time to leave. Just make it out in the nick of time, pretty much. I mean, yeah. But yeah, then the Moira goes for the recontest, which is weird. But yeah, I mean, your tanks are not going to be able to make it back in time to recontest, right? Like, so yeah, it's kind of funny. It has a Hog Zarya into Hog Zarya, so it's like not actually. But they basically have counterpicked you with the Reaper, right? So like, if you don't keep the Reaper off of your tank line, they're pretty much going to roll through. Yeah, you're playing this McCree a lot like a sniper, which you can do as McCree, right? He's definitely like, he has, but you're not utilizing his full kit when you do that, right? So like take those long shots when that's what's available, but definitely I think you want to play a lot closer in general, right? Like I like this high ground up here, but I think you're playing too far back at the, you know, when you're playing like back here, right? This is a very defensive play style, right? Like at the end of the day, what matters is the objective. You know, you got to play the objective. You got to play the team fights. You being alive is actually not that important, right? Like, if you can go in there and get 2 or 3 picks and you die, like that's,
Go on.
you know, you're trying to get value out of your life. You're not trying to like keep your life the whole time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, I struggle with getting up on this high ground too, but like, you know, that's not an easy jump to make, but you're valuing high ground actually too much, which is something I think I've never said in a VOD review before. But you're literally walking away from the team fight to go get high ground. No. You go get high ground when there's an opening, when there's a gap in the fight, when you've won the fight before the attackers arrive. Like, you get high ground when there's like time to do so. Don't go get high ground when your team's dying, right? Like, that's honestly, like, I even if you got like literally 0, I mean, maybe this is terrible advice, but honestly, I would have preferred to see you like try and stall the cart out, you know, here and like died for it, just slowing down the cart a little bit, then like you're just constantly running back, constantly taking more defensive positions. Like this is for, you know, relative like front line DPS character, you're too passive, I think. Like you wanna like maximize your time spent on the offense. You know what I mean? Like if you're standing there not shooting, you're not generating ult charge. You're not you know you're not like putting pressure on any particular person on the enemy team. Like yeah. That was kind of a weird time to drop from high ground. Again, I feel like you're just retreating. If you stayed up on high ground and forced them to recontest you, they don't actually have anything that could come up there and get you, except for like a teleporting Reaper that would, you know, like you'd see and hear that coming, right? So they don't actually have any way to like jump up on high ground and get you. I guess the Hanzo could climb, but the point is, if you go up on high ground and you annoy them, they have to come up and get you. At which point, you know, you can put yourself in a 1v1 situation that you can win, which potentially could get me that situation sets you up to potentially get a pick, right? If you retreat to your spawn here, like you haven't died in, you know, have you not died this whole defense? But it's because you're playing so defensively. Maybe you died once. I'm not sure. I haven't. Actually, I'm kind of curious now if you managed to not die this whole time, but like you're so passive. That would have been a great spot for a high noon right there, right? Like, even just to kill the Hanzo, who's low, but like, you know, anyway. Like, right when you jumped out, that should have been a high noon. Where they... Oh, sorry, the Hanzo was on your team. What am I talking about? I'm sorry. I'm getting really screwed up by the red team, blue team thing. But anyway, my point being, I think, yeah, high nooning over here, like as you jumped out, they didn't know you were here. I think you could have probably gotten something pretty decent there. But yeah, this looks like this fight is over. Yeah, this looks so scrappy. Maybe you'll pull it out. Did you go on? That's you on Doom? Okay. Cool, cool. Yeah, Doom looks pretty good. It's hard to judge from like a couple seconds worth, but I think you caught them by surprise for sure. You play like that on Doom and then you swap? Really? You had 75 to an ult, and like that was like the best you played all match, and you go back to McCree? Okay. Wow. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just assuming here, but I feel like I've seen you land a couple good shots on the Mercy a few times, and then you start missing. And I think it's because you're getting like panicky, or like, you know, like you're anticipating getting the kill. You're like, oh, she's low, she's low, she's low. And that like elevated, you know, excitement is causing you to miss, you know, like really don't rush your shots, right? Like make sure you're landing those shots. Like a slow shot you land is better than a fast shot you miss. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, we'll talk about it after. It's over. Okay. So, I like the hero flexibility, right? I like that you're switching to like a, you know, from McCree to Doom to Tracer. It's good to have, you know, more than Good not to be a one trick, right? But did I pause it? Whoops. Yeah, so where are we at? All right. When I first started this, I was like, you know, maybe you maybe you sent me a game where like you lost the team, you lost the game because your teammates were bad. Like that's a possibility. You could play a game perfectly and still lose, right? But man, the margins of victory on this match in particular are so thin that you absolutely could make the difference between winning and losing this match. Like one of the most to me, like the most clear, you could have won this match with like some minor improvements.